you're a 168 fighter. And I know it sounds crazy, but if he were to like turn around and be like, hey, yeah, I'll fight David.
Yeah, I'll be dope. I have a lot of respect for Terence Crawford. Yeah. And just because I want to fight, if we would fight, doesn't mean we have hard feelings for each other. He's definitely a great fighter. I'd love to fight him.
I need to get, I would love to get it. I just don't think he would come up. Well, I mean, I'm not even at 168 no more.
Right.
But I mean, I would love to fight Crawford, or even spar. I would love to spar Crawford.
When you see a tweet that says, hey, can you make 168, David, from Turkey? Can he still make 168? You seeing him now training at second fight at 175?
Yeah, I think he's super young still. I think definitely, I don't think, it would be a little bit hard, but I think he could definitely do 168. We didn't move to 175 because of the weight. We moved because of the opportunities.
Terence Crawford versus David Benavidez, the fight we all want to see next. And guess what? Jose Benavidez Sr. revealed that David can go back down to 168 to fight Crawford.
I think he was, referring to maybe if David could go and fight Crawford. Like, that's crazy.
To be honest, that would be even an embarrassment to me to say, David's too big for Crawford. Now who said that, I don't think, it would be a little bit hard, but I think he could definitely do 168. We didn't move to 175 because of the weight. We moved because of the opportunities.
Yeah, it'll be tough for David, but he can make it happen. The reason he moved up to 175 wasn't really about the weight, it was about opportunities. But you know how this game works. When Turki Alalshikh steps in with that big Saudi money, any fighter suddenly finds a way to make weight.
Can you still make 168?
To be honest with you, man, let Terence Crawford live. That's his weight class.
Okay.
I lost interest in 168 a long time ago. I know that we could get offered a lot of money to go down to 168, but I'm more comfortable at 175.
And a matter of fact, Turki himself even tweeted that David can still make 168. So yeah, don't be surprised if we see Crawford versus Benavidez cooking up for next year. Because when Turki gets involved, anything is possible. Add to that the styles, Crawford's IQ and movement versus Benavidez's thunderous power. And you've got a clash that's as much chess as it is violence.
But if you were at 168, when we think about anybody at 168 outside of Canelo, the first name that comes to anybody's mind is David Benavidez. What about the potential for a fight like that?
Oh, like I said, man, that's a big dude. You know what I mean? He ain't even at 168. When you look
right, not now. It's at 175, yeah.
He probably can't even make 168 no more.
The stakes are massive. Legacy on one side, approving statement on the other, and guaranteed eyeballs and pay-per-view buys. If promoters lock this up, expect a huge training camp, some smart weight management, and a fight night that nobody in boxing wants to miss. Keep your alerts on. This one could go from rumor to reality faster than you think.
Turki Alalshikh posted on social media asking if David Benavidez is still capable of making it down to 168. Now, we're not sure if this little tease that Turki made was targeted as a hint for a future fight between Crawford and Benavidez, or Canelo versus Benavidez.
And just when we were all hyped thinking Crawford versus Benavidez might actually go down next, Blue Blood Sports TV jumps in and drops a full reality check on David Benavidez. And man, he didn't hold back. He basically said, "Hold up, champ, you can't call Crawford an opportunist when you were begging for that same Canelo fight." And he's right, you can't rewrite history just because the spotlight missed you by an inch.
So what Terence Crawford achieved is massive compared to yourself that people say technically should have been at 175. So you cannot discredit Terence Crawford and say he's an opportunist, because this is the same version of Canelo Alvarez that you wanted to fight. And you would have wanted to get all the credit in the world for beating this Canelo, and you wouldn't have wanted to hear people talk about you was an opportunist and you fought a version of Canelo Alvarez that was washed up.
Benavidez spent years calling for Canelo, chasing him through divisions like a Pokemon, and now that Bud pulled it off, suddenly it's, oh, that version of Canelo was old. Come on, bro. That's like saying you didn't want the cake after watching someone else eat it. And look, I get it. Benavidez should have gotten that fight years ago. WBC politics did him dirty, no doubt. But discrediting Crawford now? That's just emotional cardio.
So don't discredit Terence Crawford's victory. That's nasty work, bro. And you one of my guys, you know that. And shout out to your father and your brother. Don't let these people put batteries in your back for you to discredit Terence Crawford's victory. Don't let it happen, bro. We know a disservice was done to you. We know you should have been got the Canelo Alvarez fight. We already know that. But don't say this was a washed up version of Canelo Alvarez, because you would have accepted the same fight and wanted all the credit.
The truth is, Bud dared to do what nobody else had the guts to, move up 21 pounds and take on a guy everyone else was scared to face. And if David's really planning to drop back to 168 for Crawford, I respect it. That's gutsy. But until that bell rings, let's not act like Crawford didn't just rewrite boxing physics. Because whether you love him or hate him, Bud made history. And the only thing opportunistic about it was his perfect timing to make everyone else look small.
So you would have fought the same version of Canelo Alvarez and expected all the credit in the world. So you can't discredit Terence Crawford and say his fight and beating him was opportunist.
And just when we thought the Bud versus Benavidez saga was heating up, boom, now we got a whole new plot twist. Apparently, Team Crawford's saying Bud wants $100 million for his next fight. Yeah, you heard that right, $100 million. Bro, that's not a purse, that's a Powerball dream. I mean, we all love Bud, but if that's the price tag, he might have to fight Thanos at this point, because unless Turki Alalshikh starts printing money in Riyadh, who's signing that check?
First, I'm going to start off with what Bernie of Team Crawford said, right? He says, quote, "I think Terence Crawford is done. If it ain't $100 million to go down and fight those guys like Janabek, Erislandy Lara, and Carlos Adames, let them guys do all the hard work." $100 million? What you think you got? Kelsey Grammer? Chelsea Clinton?
But let's be real, this move screams, I've conquered boxing, now pay me like a legend. And I get it. Crawford just cooked Canelo, made him look like he was buffering in 4K, so of course he feels untouchable. But when you start saying names like Janabek and Carlos Adames for $100 mil, that's not boxing anymore, that's premium fantasy mode. Still, you gotta respect the confidence. Bud's like, if I'm stepping in that ring again, I'm getting generational money, or I'm chilling with generational wealth. And honestly, can't even be mad at that. He's earned his piece, he's earned his price. Now it's up to the boxing world to decide if they can afford it.
So now, you know, I'm not mad at it. Crawford's team, they want $100 mil. You know, Crawford needs $100 mil to perform or to get back in the ring, or he might retire. Then, in my opinion, if that is your real asking price, you might have to retire, because no one needs to see a Canelo rematch. And fights like Lara, Janabek, and Adames.
Alright, so right after Crawford dropped that "I want 100 million" bomb, he goes full story mode about how the whole Canelo idea even started. And bro, this part's wild. Turns out it wasn't some random money grab, it was Bill Haney, yeah, Devin's dad, who literally planted the Canelo seed before Crawford even fought Spence. Like, imagine being in the gym, Bill just strolls up like, "Forget Spence, Bud, chase Canelo." And Bud's there thinking, man, that dude's big. Fast forward, he looks again and goes, hold up, we're the same height. That's when the light bulb goes off.
Hold on, bro, for real? I thought this was after.
No, this is before.
Crawford Spence won.
He said, man, don't even stop chasing Errol Spence. He was like, man, the guy to focus and chase is Canelo.
Really?
He was like, man, you can beat him. He was like, man, Spence, Canelo. And like every time I see him, he'd be like, Canelo.
And honestly, that's the beauty of Bud. He doesn't move off ego, he moves off belief. Dude actually studied Canelo's game, like he was doing homework for a championship thesis. You can tell that Bill Haney talk got in his head, in a good way. And when Canelo's team started talking about Crawford doesn't sell, Bud basically said, cool, then don't say my name when I'm the ticket now. That's vintage Bud, calm now. But that quiet tone means somebody's getting cooked later.
You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, we the same height, around the same size. Like, he a little thicker, okay. I'm starting to look into it now because he already planted the seed, but now I'm like looking into it. Like, let me see what Bill
talking about.
Bill look
See what
at
he
now,
see.
what he see. So I'm, oh, okay. This is what he talking about. Cause he like, man, he's not a big dude. He just kept saying he's not a big dude and you can beat him. And then when I looked into it, I'm like, damn, Bill right. You know what I mean?
And just when you thought the whole Canelo idea was wild, wait till you hear what went down behind the scenes. Bud's out here doing 9-hour negotiations in Saudi, sitting in some back room like he's trying to unlock a secret boss level in a video game. Man said he was by himself, surrounded by people talking in another language, texting, calling, whispering, and he's just sitting there like, I just want to talk to Turki. But nah, they said he couldn't because apparently Turki's his friend and might go easy on him. Bro, imagine being too likable to negotiate your own deal. That's when I realized this ain't your regular fighter. This is a man who does his own business like he's the CEO of Team Crawford Enterprises. No lawyer, no middleman, just Bud standing his ground for 9 hours until both sides leave looking half satisfied and half broken.
They brought me in there, then we went to the little back room, and we was there for like 9 hours.
Dang.
Going back and forth.
Dang.
You know, they not budging, I'm not budging. I'm in that mug like this. I'm like,
By yourself.
by myself. And they like, and they calling Turki. He's not, they talking in their language and texting, and we going back and forth. And
that's when you know it's real. And when he said, it wasn't the deal they wanted or the deal I wanted, but it's done, you could just feel the chess move click. Like, okay, this man didn't just secure a fight, he secured a legacy clause. And let's be honest, when people say Crawford did it for the money, stop it. Bud literally said, who's fighting for free? And he's right. You and I wouldn't clock into work for exposure, so why should he? The dude's been blackballed, underestimated, and told he doesn't sell. And yet here he is, negotiating in a different continent, chasing greatness like it owes him rent. You gotta respect that. Bud's not just fighting opponents anymore, he's fighting systems, narratives, and time itself. And he's still winning every round.
we gotta get the deal done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can see Turki when you get the deal done. And I'm like, oh man, listen. Y'all talking about ain't making sense.
Yeah.
You know
Did you have a number though?
Yeah.
Or you kind of had a number like, I want to be in this range,
yeah,
right?
I had a number and it was just like, they like, man, listen, we gonna have to talk. so we all in that motherfucker for like, you know what I mean? 9 hours, dog.
9 hours, bro.
I'm telling you. I'm
Straight?
Straight.
And that's the wild part, right? Crawford versus Benavidez isn't just another matchup. It's a full-blown power play in boxing's new era. We've got legacy versus youth, IQ versus aggression, and a whole lot of pride on the line. Whether it's at 168 or 175, both of these dudes are chasing that next mountain. But here's the real question. Who actually wants it more? Is Bud still hungry after conquering Canelo, or is Benavidez ready to prove he's more than just the guy who didn't get the call? Either way, the world's watching, and if Turki Alalshikh throws that royal check on the table, it's go time. So I'm throwing it to you. Who wins this one? The technician or the monster? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get this debate rolling. And yo, don't ever forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters. We've got more fire coming your way real soon. See you in the next one.